The rain in Seattle always feels like it's trying to wash away your sins, but tonight, it's just soaking through my $2,000 suit. I'm standing outside the King County Courthouse, clutching a manila envelope that contains the end of my life, or so she thinks. My name is Leo, and for 3 years, I've been the perfect provider in a high-stakes game of betrayal. I thought I won the lottery when the most beautiful woman in the city said I do, but I didn't realize I was just a walking ATM in a designer dress. Subscribe, because this isn't just a divorce story, it's a masterclass in taking back everything they stole. 3 years ago, I was a nobody. I was a lead mechanic at a dusty shop in South Seattle, smelling like diesel and old tires. One rainy Tuesday, Chloe pulled in with a flat tire on her white Mercedes. She was wearing a silk sundress that cost more than my rent. When I knelt down to change the tire, my hands were stained black with grease. I felt like a peasant next to royalty. But then, she did something I'll never forget. She knelt right there in the dirt, took a designer handkerchief from her Chanel bag, and wiped the oil off my knuckles. She looked me in the eye and whispered, "Hard-working hands are the only ones I trust." I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. I built a tech logistics startup from nothing just to keep that smile on her face. I bought the craftsman-style mansion in Bellevue. I even hired her cousin, Mark, as my VP of operations because she said he needed a break. I thought love meant unconditional support. I was wrong. I came home early from a board meeting because the merger got pushed. The minute I stepped into the foyer, the smell hit me. Midnight musk. It was the heavy, expensive perfume I bought Chloe for our anniversary. The smart lights were dimmed to a warm amber, casting long shadows across the white oak floors. Then I saw them, Chloe's red bottom heels kicked off by the stairs, and a pair of muddy loafers, Mark's loafers, right next to them. I stood there, my hand tightening around my house keys until the metal cut into my palm. I crept toward the master bedroom. Through the cracked door, I heard her laughing, that melodic, fake laugh I used to adore. "Once Leo signs the IPO papers," Chloe whispered, "we're taking the liquid assets and moving to the Amalfi Coast. He's too busy being a provider to notice he's being bled dry." Mark's deep voice followed, "The guy's a genius at code, but a moron at life." I stood in the hallway, feeling my blood turn to liquid nitrogen. I didn't burst in. I didn't scream. I just turned around and walked back into the rain. For the next month, I was an Oscar-winning actor. At the office, I had to watch Mark walk around in custom suits bought with my money, acting like he owned the place. He'd bump into me at the espresso machine, flashing a predatory grin, asking if I was feeling the stress of the IPO. At home, I played the doting husband. I brought Chloe organic strawberries and wine every night, letting her wrap those same lying arms around my neck. Every night, I'd sit in my home office until 3 a.m., staring at an old Casio watch my ex, Sarah, gave me years ago. Sarah was simple, she wore hoodies and hiked in the mud. Chloe wore silk and bled me for millions. The contrast was a jagged pill to swallow. I wanted to burn it all down, but I knew the best hunters wait for the prey to get greedy. I needed them to jump into the trap with both feet. I started leaving top-secret financial projections on the kitchen island. I made sure Chloe saw the fake numbers showing the company's valuation jumping from $50 million to $500 million post-IPO. Her eyes turned into dollar signs. I told her that to protect the assets from predatory taxes and ensure a smooth transition, we needed to do a strategic divorce. I told her we'd move the house and the liquid cash into a trust in her name, sign the papers quietly, and then have a second, massive wedding in Hawaii once the IPO cleared. Greed is a hell of a drug. She and Mark spent all night whispering about their freedom. On the day of the signing, Chloe wore her best power suit and a smirk. She thought she was winning a $100 million settlement. She didn't notice I was wearing my old mechanic's shirt, the one I wore the day we met. As soon as the ink dried, I handed her a real audit report. "The company isn't going public, Chloe," I said. "It's filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And since you insisted on taking the assets in the divorce, you also inherited the $10 million in predatory loans I took out to keep it afloat." Her face went from trophy wife to ghost in 3 seconds. I walked out of the lawyer's office and into the crisp Seattle air. I spent 2 hours just walking through the Pike Place market, letting the sounds of the crowd and the smell of fresh fish ground me. I sat down at a greasy spoon diner, the kind of place Chloe wouldn't be caught dead in. I ordered a burger and a black coffee. The waitress, an older woman with tired eyes, smiled and said, "Eat up, honey. You look like you finally put down a heavy backpack." The burger tasted better than any Michelin star meal I'd had in years. I pulled out that old Casio watch. The screen was scratched, but the time was perfectly accurate. I realized the Bellevue mansion and the silk dresses were just expensive noise. I pulled out my phone, unblocked a number I hadn't called in 3 years, and sent a simple text, "Hey Sarah. I'm at that diner we used to love." I finally woke up. I hit send and felt the weight of the last 3 years evaporate. People will treat you exactly how you allow them to. Some people see your kindness as a weakness and your provision as an invitation to steal. Don't wait until you've lost everything to realize that the person who loves you in a $10 hoodie is worth 1,000 people who only love you in a $2,000 suit. If you're going through your own rainy season right now, keep your head up. The sun always comes out after the storm. You just have to be the one who controls the weather. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and stay sharp.